friends, and welcome. This is Dr. Heather Carden, and I am super excited for our episode number 1 of Live Ask a Doc. So I'm super excited to have Dr. Jaime Trent join us in just a moment here. But as you are jumping on, I'm actually going to share this to a couple pages. So we're going to wait here for Dr. Jaime to join us. So Renee, thanks for joining us. I'm going to wait here again for Dr. Jaime to jump on because I'm learning how to invite people. So Renee, thanks for joining us. I'm just waiting for Dr. Jaime to jump on, but I am going to learn how to share this to other pages. So thanks again for joining us, Renee. If you've got a question you've always been wanting to know, drop it down below. We're going to be having this Ask a Doc each and every Tuesday about 1:30 Central Standard Time. And this is a point where you can actually drop your questions down below, ask as we are waiting for Dr. Jaime to join us. As you guys know, my name is Dr. Heather Carden. I'm coming to you live from Overland Park, Kansas. So we are still celebrating the amazing Chiefs win. Can you believe it? World champs, first time in 50 years. Crazy, crazy, amazing. So I am trying to find this live on my computer so I can share it. There it is. So let me see, share to a page. Again, I'm looking for Dr. Jaime to join me here. I know she has got a talk that she's doing, so let me share it to a page here. Let me know where you guys are joining me from. That group is not showing up. Okay, so Jaime, as you jump on, say hello, hello. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining us. I know you're joining us from Arizona today. That is not letting me tag that page. I may try this other one. It's letting me post it there. I'm trying to get posted to a different group. We may have to share later or do a watch party there. So I'm trying to join it. We have a group called Be Better Drink Ketones, which I'm trying to get it posted there. Tammy, I may see if you may be able to share it because I know you're part of that group. So it looks like we've got 19 people on. I'm looking for Dr. Jaime. So Dr. Jaime is there. Let me see her. Let me tag her and invite her to the screen. Thanks, Dr. Jaime, for being patient with me. Jaime, can you just say hello? Because I am tapping your name. So Dr. Jaime, if you can just say hi, then it will let me invite you to our Ask a Doc. So I see that you're watching, Dr. Jaime. I just need to see you say hello. Tracy, thanks for joining us. Let me know where you're watching from. So Jaime, all you have to do is say hello and then you get an invite. So Jaime, I'm pushing on your name here. Sometimes it can be frustrating, people, right? Hello. Dr. Jaime, your name is tagged in here, and for some reason, it's not letting me add you to that. Let me try over here. Okay, friends, I am actually hitting Dr. Jaime's name. Your viewers, I'm touching her name. I'm adding hello. I don't see where it's inviting. I'm ready for some digital assistance here, friends. Not getting that one. So Jaime, I'm liking your comments. I am pushing on your name to invite you. There we go. It says pin your comments. Dr. Jaime, it is not letting me invite you. And you're on your phone. Okay, guys, I think this is what we're going to do today because I have pushed the buttons about 15 times and it's not letting me invite her. And she's on her phone. And Jaime, you're horizontal, correct? me try one more time, guys. So I'm going to tell you as I'm still pushing my phone here and you're seeing my hand everywhere. So what our target is here today, I'm going to still keep trying over here on my computer, Dr. Jaime, is what Dr. Jaime and I want to do is we do a lot of talks together. I wanted her to introduce herself, and we wanted to do some chit chat and ping pong off each other and try to really help answer your questions better in very simple terms about you can help better understand how you can optimize your journey towards better health. So as I continue to try to invite Dr. Jaime to our Ask a Doc specialist. I don't know what's happening, Dr. Jaime, because I've tagged you and it says you're not getting one. And now we're just still rumbling. So to figure this out, what we're going to do is every Tuesday, at 1:30 Central Standard Time, we're going to pop on for 15 or 20 minutes and we're going to ping pong and help answer your questions super efficiently. I was going to ask Jaime what is the most popular question she has gotten this week in her clinic or in her small groups or in her keto 101s. I know she's getting ready to go to the high school and give a nutrition talk, or kind of maybe she's got 4 kiddos. What the most common question is happening around her family, around her kiddos. She is, and she can correct me, she is I want to say 5th or 6th generation chiropractor. And where she really got into nutrition is where she became a mom herself and knew how important it was to feed her kids healthy. I also have 4 kiddos. Of course, my kids are about a decade older than her kiddos. My oldest, well, not that far apart. But we were getting ping pong questions and it's not letting me add her. We will figure that out before next week. But keep your notifications on because we will do this each and every Tuesday, 1:30 Central Standard Time. We will figure out what's happening. We'll practice this over the weekend. But if you have a question, drop it down below. Dr. Jaime will help answer those questions hot behind there. Someone asked about ketones and cholesterol. Will they affect ketones, exogenous ketones, I'm assuming you're asking, which is prove it's exogenous ketones, the only pure bioidentical natural ketones in the world. Will it affect your cholesterol? My answer is yes, it potentially could affect your triglycerides of your overall cholesterol because we know that ketones that are all natural, are bioidentical to your body, actually helps cut off cravings. So if you're eating sugar, we know that high sugar, high levels of carbohydrates in your diet actually can increase your chances to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which actually increases your LDLs, increases your triglycerides, increases your overall triglycerides and total cholesterol, which can actually make you a cardiac risk. It can increase your levels of LDLs to HDLs, total cholesterols to HDLs, which increase your cardiac risk. Well, if you're drinking something like pure therapeutic exogenous ketones that take the cravings away, you start ditching the drive-through addiction, you stop drinking sugary drinks in 12 to 32 to 48 ounces or 64 ounces each and every day, then it makes sense that your triglycerides could go down because those are indicative of how much sugar you're eating. We also know LDLs are indicative of how much fried food you're eating. We also know ketones give you more energy. So if you're going to have more energy, you start getting to the gym. Your HDLs, which are your happy cholesterol, actually can improve while you're exercising more. So if you get better energy because you're drinking ketones, then yes, it can affect your cholesterol in a positive way, I'd like to say, not in a negative type of way. There is a great book written by Dr. Eric Westman, collaborated with Jimmy Moore, which is called Keto Cholesterol. I also like the keto... I want to say Dr. Adam Nally or Doc Muscle's got a great book out, which is called The Keto Cure. He goes over the positive of LDLs, HDLs, and total cholesterol, why it can increase in a positive way when you're on a ketogenic diet. But your question was really about ketones and cholesterol. So I'm looking for some more questions here. I'm going to tap Dr. Jaime's name. Gosh, people from Tampa, people from Arizona, people from Virginia. Jaime's from Paola, Kansas. And we did this around her. She's getting ready to go talk with some kiddos, which is so exciting. The biggest question Dr. Jaime gets is, and I love this question, Dr. Jaime, I'd love to have her answer it herself, is the ketogenic diet healthy? My answer is yes, it is healthy if it's done correctly, and I think she would agree, which is eating real whole foods. What has happened, which is exciting but can also be confusing, is that we've studied the ketogenic diet for well over 100 years. It was specifically designed for children who were non-responsive to epileptic medication. They were children having multiple seizures, but the medication they were non-resistant to. So they were still having multiple seizures a day. So what they found by reducing the carbohydrates and having the children on a low carbohydrate diet, like less than 5 to 6%, having their liver actually go in and tap and feed on their own body's fat or fuel in their body with a very high fat diet, 80%. So our body's breaking down the fat, using that for fuel instead of a high carbohydrate diet, and breaking down that and using sugar for fuel. So instead of sugar for fuel, using fat, which breaks down the ketones for fuel, which provides 38% more oxygen per molecule than glucose, uses another ATP than glucose. So glucose will give you 2 ATP per molecule, where we will get 3 ATP per molecule for the ketone body, that we found that the seizures would actually stop, because ketones actually calm down the nervous system. They give more oxygen to the brain. We also know that now, fast forward a century, that when you give the body ketones versus glucose in a damaged brain, whether it's been from a motor vehicle accident, multiple concussion, PTSD, or traumatic brain injury, that the damaged brain, where those cells have been damaged, they've been bruised, they've been broken, that when you give it glucose, it doesn't uptake very well. Those cells still can't function, they can't use it for energy. But if you give it ketones, the body can actually use that for energy. We thought those cells were non-functioning anymore. Now those cells actually light up on PET scans. Dr. Amen just released this video. You can find some amazing information on that on Current Credible Information. So yes, on a ketogenic diet, using real whole foods, plant fats, avocados, nuts and seeds, I'm going to say it right now, when you go into the stores right now, you're seeing people doing special masks. So whether it is a Quest cookie or a Slim Fast bar, I'm calling out names I shouldn't be doing that, but they're making processed ketogenic food. I'm going to do that. Processed ketogenic food, special bars with special labeling, with all this starting at 24 grams of carbohydrates. They break it down, only 2 total net carbs. I can't even read some of those words. I don't even know what they are because they're processed. That is not a healthy ketogenic diet when you're using processed foods. Go back to the basics. I'd rather have you do a low carb, high fat diet, eating whole healthy foods and plant fats, than a processed ketogenic diet. I know a lot of people agree with me on that, than using plant fats and soy processed burgers that are using that, because we know that we have gut inflammation. We know that our gut-brain connection is very, very high. There's more nerves in your gut than your spinal cord. So if we're talking about using processed foods and getting away from processed foods, we don't want to go from processed drive-through foods to processed packaged keto food. We want to eat real whole foods. I'm always showing you that. I actually came home for an appointment, and my son, who will be 23 in a week, is actually like, Mom, I made breakfast. He had turkey sausage, he has scrambled eggs and bacon, and then we got leftover green beans and broccoli. My mama's on here. She knows how we eat. We had corned beef and cabbage last night, and we had collard greens, carrots, onions, and cabbage. So I didn't eat the carrots. The kids ate the carrots. They have a higher metabolic rate. We didn't have any potatoes or any bread, but that's really what we eat in our house. You're welcome to come over anytime. The night before, if you saw, we had roasted broccoli, green beans, and meatloaf, and yeah, we had bacon on top. But it's that easy. So hopefully that helps getting one. I'm still trying to ask Jamie to come to the thing. Let me try one more time. Actually make these last just about 15 or 20 minutes to give you time to get those questions. Keto, there is absolutely a right or wrong way. And we do pork rinds, but we try to get the cleanest pork rinds, if that makes sense. So there is organic everything. We don't always get the cleanest fish every single time, but fish we buy what's on sale, whether it be mahi-mahi or whether it can still be, you start doing special math, our guts are a mess. People aren't even eliminating, making fancy special fat bombs. It's about eating real whole food, putting sesame seed oil, avocado oil, again, having nuts and seeds. So thanks, Dr. Jamie, for helping with that. And next week, we're going to try it from your page and stream that way and see if that helps. But that is an awesome question to start this with. And Shane is right. We are in a hormonal mess of things, specifically because of the standard American diet. We know carbohydrates stimulate aromatase, which is an estrogenic enzyme. We know male hormones are out of balance. We are having andropause start at a very young age in the 20s instead of the 50s. We are having women infertility issues because we're having PCOS, which has to do with thyroid imbalance, which is a whole nother series of things. So let's take a couple more questions here. I am feeling terrible that Dr. Jamie can't join me. I feel like it's not a party without her. We definitely want this to be shared. We want it to be information out there because we know collaboration is currency. And sometimes if you're always listening to me, we know that familiarity leads to the deaf ear. I'm a parent of 4. I can say it the same way every day, but maybe Dr. Jamie says one thing to my kids, the exact same words, and she can say it and like, oh, I get it. So that's why we want to collaborate together, because collaboration is currency. And again, familiarity leads to the deaf ear. So having us together, people can say, oh, I kind of get it now. I like the way she said that because she's got a different twist to it. So I listened to her Keto 101. Our slide deck is almost identical. almost identical, probably 90% identical. And I like the way she said stuff. So I said, we should do this together and answer some questions together in a 15 or 20 minute platform. So we ping pong questions off pretty quickly and good to get 8 to 10 questions in 15 to 20 minutes. So that's really what we wanted to do. An intro today, share our platform and let you know this is absolutely meant to be shared, but I can't get her invited today. Let me try one more time. It is not letting me invite her. So Dr. Jaime, we're going to get this figured out. So let me see if there's any more big questions here. I love that you're loving the information here. And one question I get a lot is salt. So we'll close with that one. Why do so many people on a low carb, high fat ketogenic diet always recommend salt? We know the ketogenic diet has amazing affinity for pulling water and toxins out of fat cells, which is what we need to do. It is not salt that is killing us or the high levels of salt. We know sodium is important for each and every single cell. Every cell needs sodium. Sodium is an electrolyte. It is vital for life. Vital means an essential for survival. When our sodium gets too low, we actually can pass away due to low sodium. It is that important. That's why when the ambulance comes up or you go to the emergency room, the first thing they do is give you sodium chloride. Before they even check anything else, they check your blood pressure, they check your sodium. It is number one on the CMP, which is your comprehensive metabolic panel. On a blood panel, it's the number one thing they check. It is that important for you. So in the 80s, we restricted salt, we restricted fat. We said, quit fasting. You must eat so many times a day. And now fast forward to 4 decades, we are fat, sick, and nearly dead. It is the truth. Yes, there's a movie called that. You should watch it. It's a great documentary. But we need to put salt that our body recognizes. Salt from celery, salt from tomatoes. If maybe you don't do nightshades, then yes, you can have celery. You can do things from cabbage. But pink Himalayan sea salt, kosher salt, Celtic salt, we know that our thyroid actually needs iodine to convert T3 to T4. We know that our ovaries actually compose a very high level of iodine, and our thyroid actually robs the iodine from our ovaries to our thyroid. So that's why we get cysts on our ovaries. That's why we have a lot of thyroid imbalances, because iodine is so important and salt and sodium is so important. They are separate entities, but sometimes they come together, sometimes they come separate, but you need to make sure you're not cooking with it. You need to put a pinch or so on afterwards. That's why doing an Epsom salt bath, you feel so amazing because then your pH gets balanced. That's why when you go to the ocean, you feel so amazing. It is the sunlight. It is getting your feet to the ground because you're grounding with the earth, which is also amazing for your body. It's again balancing that pH out, but also getting your body in that salt water because that's what your body's working at. The little pores on your skin is your largest organ, works like the revolving doors at the bank. So when your body needs things, it opens up the pores, like when it needs to sweat and get things out, or when it's cold and wants to protect it, like the heat, it closes up. So when you get in the water, especially the seawater, it actually, those pores open up like little revolving doors and let some of that salt earthiness in with all those trace minerals in the water, and then it closes up when it's done. So we know what happens a lot of times when people's sodium gets too low, then your body swells and tries to protect it, and then when it gets enough sodium, it actually releases it and lets it out. So we've kind of done the wrong thing with a lot of cardiac patients as we put them on a lot of diuretics, which lead to tertiary medications or secondary medications, tertiary medications, and then other medication, which is a huge domino effect. So I get that all the time. People say, well, what is the RDA for sodium? Recommended daily allowance. It depends. And people start counting stuff on ketchup and chips and other things. It's so hard to tell what your body's actually absorbing and then what you're actually eliminating out because it's a guessing game when it comes to diuretics. So I get all the time, well, what about the sodium in the food that you're eating? What about the sodium in the celery? What about the sodium in the beans? I'm like, what about the sodium in the ketchup? And what is the alcohol doing to your body? No one seems to talk about that because alcohol cuts off your antidiuretic hormone, but no one even takes that into calculation when you're talking about sodium level. So The Salt Fix is an amazing book that you each should read. I do want to apologize to Dr. Jaime for not getting on here today. We'll absolutely get that fixed by next Tuesday, but thanks for being my wing woman today. We will figure out how to get this fixed and have her on here because this is a great topic. We had a lot of positive response. Ask a doc to be on here today. So Dr. Jaime, my sincerest apologies. I will see what happened with this and we can get this shared. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there and staying with me. I know you've got a big talk at the high school to influence the next generation. So best of luck with you. We appreciate what you're doing with the next generation because that's really, for me, the most important thing, because we know the next generation is not supposed to outlive our current generation, which is your kiddos, my kiddos, many of the people here watching. So our sincerest appreciation for you and what you're doing for the next generation, and best of luck at that talk. We will see you all next, you and your friends, so keep passing this on. We will see all of you next Tuesday, 1:30 Central Standard Time. We will tell you when and where. We may go from Dr. Jaime's page. Maybe we'll try from our personal page and not from a business page. I don't know why it didn't work today. We'll figure that out. You guys have an amazing day. Keep dropping your questions down below, even on if you're watching on replay, because then this is what we'll build our question topics from. Your questions, what you have. It can be about fitness. It can be about children. It can be about pregnancy. We've both been pregnant. Well, Jamie's only been pregnant 3 times because she had twins. I've had 4. So questions that you have about anything. Again, we've both been treating physicians for a very long time. I think Dr. Jamie's been in practice, helped me out 15 years, helped me out here, Dr. Jamie. And again, she is I think, 5th generation chiropractor. Her dad is a chiropractor. Her brother is a chiropractor. She practices with her dad and her brother. But not only that, her uncle is a chiropractor. Several cousins are a chiropractor. Her grandfather's father was a chiropractor. So she has a long history of studying the human body. She was raised up in the world of natural medicine and knowing that the body has the innate capability of healing itself. So super excited to have her along as my wing woman here on Ask a Doc Day. So we'll see you guys next Tuesday.